I started recording now.
Okay, lovely. So when you're ready, Ava. Oh.
Good morning, Harris Academy. My name's Mr. Doherty and I am joined by my co-presenter,
Mr. Rickenberg.
and we are here for our weekly ramble of jogging around the world. How are you this morning, sir?
I'm good. This, again, week's been mad.
Every week, without fail.
Yeah.
It's like, how you been?
And
It's
you
like,
said something quite tragic this morning. You said, well, in reality, this is like the half term that you just started.
it's only just started.
8-weeker.
It was Miss Chalice that said that to me yesterday. She was, how are you getting on? She went, well, realistically, we haven't actually started the term. And I was like, nice, like, it feels like we're almost at the end. So we've got another 6 weeks to go. It's been heavy already, but what changes, eh? Nothing new there, is there?
Nothing. You go back to the old grind.
Exactly. So
Educate
also
these children, sir.
exactly educating the youth of today,
Yeah.
day in, day out. So we also want to say good morning to our producer Ava. Good morning, Ava. How are you today?
Good morning, sir. I'm very good.
Good, lovely to have you on board as usual. So we'll start with what are you drinking this morning, Mr. Rickenberg?
Right, I'm drinking pure sugar, it feels like, sir. This feels like a shot of adrenaline, if I'm being totally honest with you. I'm drinking a Starbucks. Other brands are obviously available. Caramel macchiato from Tesco.
And I am drinking the exact same thing, seeing as you bought me that. So
Yeah.
cheers, very nice. Thank you very much. Ava, good morning. We've actually. What I'm saying, we've included you in the drinking this morning, not drinking this morning, drinking of the coffees this morning. What are you drinking?
Well, courtesy of Mr. Rickenberg, I'm drinking a Muller Fridge fudge brownie flavour milkshake.
I reckon that's got more sugar in it than this.
Probably.
But just remember, drinking it outside school grounds.
Yeah.
Anything other than water.
In my classroom, H2O Aqua only.
Yeah.
Have you seen these new water bottles that kids have got now? Ava will know
Air
one.
Up.
What are they called?
What, an air up?
Yeah.
Right. Do you know what they are?
It's like got a little thing in it.
So it changes the flavour of water. My niece and nephew wanted one for Christmas. I was like, no. I was like, you can have water and that's it. You're not having Coke flavoured water. It's insane. It changes the flavour of water to whatever you want.
How does it do that then?
I don't
Oh,
know.
no, it works. It works.
What does it work? So,
Yeah,
can you
because
get
you
someone?
smell it, and it like makes your brain think that you're smelling that.
Yes,
That's mad.
they're also banned. You're not allowed them in my class. Water and water only. You're definitely not allowed a caramel macchiato from Starbucks. Anyway, we digress as per. So, what's on the agenda this morning, Ava?
There's a congratulations in order.
Oh, there is. So, congratulations to Mr. Rickenberg, or the Rickenberg family as a whole. You are now an uncle.
I'm an uncle. We've got our first niece, our first granddaughter in our part of the family. Massive shout out to my sister Bethany, who gave birth to a lovely, tiny little baby, which her name's Phoebe, and she's absolutely wonderful. We're all absolutely buzzing. I met her yesterday, and she's the sweetest little thing in the world. It's
Amazing.
fantastic.
Welcome to the uncle crew.
I'm looking forward to it. I feel older. I feel much more responsible now, so it's almost like things changed overnight. I know it's not my child, but you know, it just feels like there's other things more important in life now, isn't it?
That's it. More important than this podcast.
Yeah.
No, that's it. And the great thing about being an uncle is you can give them back.
Yeah, exactly. I just
So
maxed it, so,
congratulations to the Rickenberg family. That's amazing news. So what's next, Miss Smith? What are we doing?
We've got shout outs.
Shout outs.
Yeah, mate.
We've got a few shout outs to go. So who's first on that list?
The one and only Mr. Max.
Oh, the correspondent.
Finally, yeah.
So I think we had a little dig at Mr.
Yeah.
Maxted last week, didn't we? The man must have been busy. He's probably got quite a lot on his plate, more to worry about than this podcast.
Exactly.
And then I think we gave him a little bit of a dig last week, didn't we, by saying that his news correspondence was a little bit quiet.
Slacking. We said slack. I think slacking.
Slacking, I think was the
used.
word. So this week he's most certainly been out in the field. I don't know.
Tell me about
I don't know.
it. Their miles are through the roof.
Yeah, I don't know if there is anywhere he hasn't been regarding news. My WhatsApp feed is flooded.
Yeah.
So Mr. Maxted gets a big shout out because he's well and truly back doing what he does.
Back in the game.
Back doing what he does best. Who have we got next?
Year 11s.
Oh, go on. So you can shout.
Right, the mocks. The paper one was tricky.
Hmm.
Paper 2 was made even trickier with the fact that figures were left out.
Yeah.
My fault. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah.
But
We make mistakes.
we make mistakes. Not in this podcast though.
Yeah.
We also then they've come to the end of their geography mocks.
Yeah.
Now we've got the humbling experience of marking them all. And yeah, so good luck to them when it comes to, I think it's the 1st of December they get their results.
Right.
And yeah, so it's growth mindset all the way.
Yeah,
if
so
there's
we're doing
things you need to
yeah.
improve, that's what you've got to focus on.
Yeah, we've got a lot of marking to do, and that's where they can just look at it. That's the idea of the mock. We spoke about this last week, didn't we? They, I think a lot. There was some ups and downs. Some people thought they did well. Some people struggled. But that's the idea of it. It's that trial run. So well done to Year 11 as usual. We love shouting out Year 11 because that is, I suppose, the pinnacle of secondary school, isn't it? What have we got next?
Year 9 netball.
Oh, the Year 9 netball.
As contributors to the PE department as well, sir. I think we've got to include this. So the Year 9s. Got through. They went to a netball rally against other schools,
which was the district netball rally,
and then they come second. They played a team last year or the year before in Year 7 and got beaten by like 40 points or something
ridiculous.
And
like
then
that.
this time they drew with them,
so that
which is a massive improvement because these girls are all playing netball outside of school, whereas not all of our girls do. And because they finished second, they now go to the regional.
They're now in the regional.
They're now in the regional sort of finals, which is a massive achievement. So not only kudos to the Year 9s, but kudos to the PE department and everyone involved in the netball.
Yeah, they did really well. Well done.
Really
Congratulations. Cool. And any more shout-outs?
Miss Patel.
Oh, yeah. Miss Patel. Miss Patel. We want to shout out Miss Patel because she got the new position of head of English.
Tough position, but she's got the minerals to cope with it.
Most certainly has got the minerals to cope with it. She's definitely got the organisational skills to cope with it. That's for sure. More organised than I am, anyway. But yeah, so well done, Miss Patel. We are very proud of you. I'll be sad to see her go from the Key Stage 3 department. I think her words were, "I won't miss you singing to me at 6 a.m. every morning." But there you go. So
yeah, well done, Miss Patel.
Yeah. So what are we talking about today then?
Today, sir, we are talking about volcanoes, right? And there's a reason for this. I don't want to say it's Mr. Maxted who told us about this volcano, but he did sort of get something up. He did sort of get something up about it. Now, what we're noticing, and what I'm noticing, is the views are going up.
Yes.
And when we talk about things like these, like the volcanoes, like the earthquakes, like tropical rainforests, people like those,
like the things that are happening, the tricky ones, and the things that are really going on in the news. You missed out your last shout out.
Oh yeah, we want to shout out a guy called, or a student, I'm assuming, called Wild on Spotify, who's contributed a couple of times. We don't know who it is.
What contributed comments?
Contributed comments. Right, a guy called Wild, and he said something before, and it's more of a compliment than anything else. And this time, he's also mentioned. He said, "You've got to talk about the Icelandic volcano." And I was like, "Yes, thank you for contributing the right way." And so we're talking about volcanoes today, sir. Now, volcanoes are something you sort of know about. They happen around the world. But all a volcano is essentially, sir, is when lava reaches or magma reaches the surface. It is a gap, or sort of a gap in the crust where magma can reach the surface and turn into lava. Yeah. Right. Now, some of these volcanoes are very explosive. Yeah. And some of them not so much. But essentially, what's happening here? The magma's rising to the surface, going through the crust, reaching the surface, turning into lava, and essentially turning into new rock, creating new land for us.
That's it.
Yeah, so if we're thinking about volcanoes, what are the two main types of volcanoes we look at?
The two main types, and again, this is really, really relevant to what we're doing with Year 10 at the minute. We are literally studying. Well, we've just finished.
And also the Year 8, so we're moving on to it very soon.
So we've got two main types. You've got composite and you've got shield.
Yeah.
Both pretty two different types of volcanoes, aren't they?
Yeah, almost the opposite. The only thing that's similar to them is that lava comes out.
So what we'll do, we'll talk about the two different types, the shape, type of lava that comes out. Characteristics, that's the way to put it. And then talk about sort of the impact maybe they can have, because there are a couple of good and bad. And then we will go on to sort of look at what's going on in Iceland, I suppose. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Absolutely. Brilliant. So we'll start with a composite volcano then. So what is a composite volcano?
Right, composite volcanoes, I sort of describe them as clip art volcanoes. If you Googled volcano, what you're looking at is you're looking at a composite volcano.
Do you know what I said? You're showing your age a little bit then. You're not even that old. But clip art. Yeah. I said the one on the emoji on the phone. Yeah. I'm a bit more up to date. I'm a bit more current. So I said to the Year 10, I said, the composite volcano, if you put volcano into your phone and it comes up with an emoji, it'll be that one. Yeah. It's that.
Maybe I've got to update my analogies.
Yeah. It's that cone-shaped volcano, isn't it? That sort of stereotypical volcano.
Yeah, stereotypical volcano.
Yeah, so that's our composite volcano.
Yeah, so we've got some major composite volcanoes around the world. Mount Vesuvius in Naples is a perfect example. Mount Fuji in Japan is another perfect example. Mount St. Helens. So basically all of these big famous volcanoes that have these big famous eruptions, these are our composite volcanoes. Right, and a composite volcano is a traditional cone shape. right? So the reason why it's a cone-shaped volcano is because you get lava coming out of it, and you also get ash coming out of it. They create these big ash clouds, and they create all of these massive hazards. So the most dangerous volcanoes in the world are these composite volcanoes. Right. So if we talk about some of the characteristics of them again, they are very explosive.
Yeah, this is the key part, isn't it? These are the explosive ones.
Yeah, these are the ones that basically go bang. And there's a really good video of a volcano going off. I think it's in Papua New Guinea. Right. I'd recommend you look at this. Type in volcanic eruption, Papua New Guinea. And it goes off, and someone's waiting in the water, and all of a sudden you hear it go bang. Yeah, it's such a loud bang. It's unbelievable. It makes the boat shake. So these are explosive volcanoes. These are the ones where you see lava flying out the top of them. But the lava itself, people always think lava is the danger when it comes to volcanoes. If you're right next to it, sure, of course it is. Yeah. But the lava that comes out of a composite volcano is really thick. It's what we call viscous.
Yeah. So I was waiting for this. So viscosity, viscous. What is that?
So that's the thickness of it.
Yes.
Right. So lava that comes out of a composite volcano has a lot of what we call silica in it. Yeah. And silica, the way I tried to explain to the year 10s, they didn't really get it, but you would. Right. So silica is like the thickening agent. Yeah. So if there's got lots of, I used an example of gravy. Yeah. If you put loads of gravy granules into your gravy, it's going to be thicker.
Super thick.
Yeah. So that's what's happening. There's loads of silica in this lava, so it's really thick, and it sort of rolls down the hill. You could get away from it by walking. Right. Yeah. But the dangers that come from a composite volcano is, and you'll know this, is the pyroclastic flow. That's the danger.
These things fascinate me as much as they terrify me. I think the case study we do in year 8,
Volcan de Fuego,
that pyroclastic flow, the footage of it is terrifying. Like, people are like quite literally trying to outrun it. So the pyroclastic flow, like you say, explosive volcano, it goes bang, and then this big like cloud of ash, rock, gas basically starts tumbling down the side of the mountain.
And obviously these are steep, they're steep-sided, it's cone shaped, like a traffic cone.
So it's got the sort of, what's the word I'm looking, the relief to travel down, right? And they can travel up to like hundreds of miles an hour, and they can be like 500 degrees in heat, maybe more. It's just terrifying. You basically, as horrible as it sounds, you're getting cooked from the inside out. Basically, you breathe that stuff. You breathe that in, and that's it. So if you are caught up in one of them, unfortunately, it's game over. Yeah. Like they are. That of a composite volcano is really what the risk is, isn't it?
If we just summarise composite volcano are your explosive volcanoes. Yep. The lava itself is very viscous, it's very thick, and it's slow moving. Yep. The danger with a composite volcano are things like pyroclastic flows. Yep. The reason for its cone shape is because you've got ash, as you've mentioned, and lava coming out. So because the lava is really slow moving, it sort of rolls down the side of the hill, and it can build up this really nice cone shape. Is there anything else we've missed?
Destructive plate boundary?
Yeah, perfect. So they happen at a destructive plate boundary. You can go on Google Earth and find the perfect example of them. If you go to Guatemala on Google Earth, you can see the trench where the two plates are being pulled down. You go over to the land, and there is a chain of volcanoes. It's perfect. So, summarise again, composite volcano, they occur at a destructive plate boundary. They are cone-shaped, they're made out of ash and lava. Yeah. And the lava is viscous.
Yes, it's viscous, and it's got a high or low viscosity, sir.
High viscosity.
High viscosity, because it doesn't flow quickly. Yeah, well done. So, and I was thinking, you know, the Toga one that happened a little while ago.
Yeah, Tonga.
Tonga, sorry. You could see it from underwater. You could see it from space. Was that a composite volcano, but underwater?
Yeah, because it hasn't risen like there hasn't been enough volcanic eruptions to build up the cone.
Yeah, so it hasn't built up the cone to come out of the water, but that, because you saw the explosion happen from space, you can see the satellite images of it happening. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. Right. Okay, well done. So
shield volcano. We've been talking for a little while.
What time are we on, Ava?
13 minutes.
That's right. We've got a couple of minutes. So we'll do the shield volcano.
Yeah, shield volcano. Do you want to do this, sir?
We'll do it together. Come on. So we've got a dome shape.
Yeah. So shield volcanoes happen at what plate boundary?
Constructive.
Now. What was chill volcanoes, sir? Yeah. And they're basically created by ridge push, aren't they? Yeah. So you got the plates moving apart, and then the magma rises through, and it basically spreads out. The magma spreads out, and it builds up over time.
So it's like layers of lava build up, and some of them can be like 10 kilometres wide.
No ash at all.
No ash. low viscosity.
Yeah.
So it's like runny lava. So this is where you get what's called lava flows.
Yeah.
So if you type in a lava flow, it quite literally looks like a river of lava flowing
This is
down.
the dangerous. This is where you probably can't outwalk it, and you definitely can't outrun it.
No.
The way I sort of describe it, it's like the way it was spread out. If you turned over a McDonald's Coca-Cola, pull the lid off, spreads out really quickly.
Ah,
But whereas a composite volcano, if you turned over a McDonald's milkshake, it would just sort of roll apart a little bit. I've got to shout out Tracy Byrne for that one.
Is that hers?
Yeah, that was
one of
hers.
hers. Right, that's a good way of putting it. So, shield volcano,
Yeah,
low viscosity,
yeah.
runny lava, forms in layers. They can be very wide base.
Yeah.
It's a dome shape rather than that cone shape. It's more of a dome. Constructive plate boundary. Yeah. And the lava flow is really what the danger is here with these. Yeah.
I think there was also something that I had in my head. Yeah, so shield volcanoes can erupt for months and months and months at a time.
Constantly bubbling.
But then composite volcanoes, their eruptions normally don't last very long.
But are more devastating, would you say?
Not most of the time.
Yeah, right, okay. So I think we've split the two up there. I think that's really what they need to know, isn't it? Because generally what we speak to, a 4 marker here.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'd say so.
Yeah.
One more I want to talk about is a hotspot.
Yeah, I think we do, because we get a question about what hotspots are.
And there's just a few terms that they miss out quite a lot. Now, a hotspot doesn't happen around the plate boundary.
No, they do not occur at plate boundaries.
No, they occur not necessarily in the middle, but they occur away from plate boundaries. Now, what causes the hotspots are fascinating to me, I think, because if anything, it's more proof of continental drift, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what happens is when there is a particularly hot part of the mantle, we will call it a mantle plume or a magma plume.
Yeah.
I prefer mantle plume personally, right? There's a particularly hot part of the mantle, and this stays exactly where it is.
And you're doing that because it's like a ball of magma. It's super hot that then rises up to the surface, and as it reaches the surface, it spreads out.
Yeah. So what's happening is that it's spreading out, but also what I think is important to know is that this mantle plume doesn't move.
Yeah.
Right. So the mantle plume itself is stationary, but the crust is moving on top of it.
Yeah.
Right. So whenever there's a bit of crust on top of it, it melts the crust and then creates a volcano. Because remember, a volcano is simply when magma reaches the surface and it has got a chance to escape the mantle. So it moves away. So it burns through the crust, and then over time you get a build up of land.
Yeah.
Right. But you've got to remember that the crust is also moving on top of it. So eventually, the volcano will turn into what we call like a dormant or an extinct volcano, because it's now away from the heat source.
So it moves along.
Yeah.
And then that plume, more magma rises up, it moves along. Obviously this is happening over millions of years. So then that land is spreading along.
Yeah.
And as that land solidifies, cools, becomes dormant, like we say, because it's no longer got sort of, what's the word I'm looking for?
It's no longer got the heat source. Really,
it hasn't really got the heat source, it hasn't got the injection of magma to keep it going. And then that's how we get chains of islands.
Yeah, because as soon as one moves away, it's going to build. Then all of a sudden, the crust obviously moves on top of it. You're going to get more volcanic eruptions on the next bit of crust. Then you get another potential island. Then that one moves away. Then you get another one, and that one moves away. You get another one. It's like a conveyor belt, really.
Yeah.
And the perfect example of this is Hawaii in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
And is that new piece of land that formed near Japan? Is that a good example of that?
Thing is, that's more at destructive. I think that's more about destructive.
Right. So that wasn't that right.
So that could potentially turn into a composite volcano.
Right.
But there's not loads and loads of examples. But the main example that we've got is Hawaii, because it's dead in the middle. There's volcanoes, there's volcanic eruptions, and it's away from the plate boundary. It's a perfect island chain there.
So you've got composite volcano, shield volcano, and hotspots, and they've all got different characteristics. Yeah, and composite and shield pretty much polar opposites.
Yeah, and then hotspots somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, their
eruptions are more in line with shield volcanoes.
They just work a little bit differently. I think that's all right. A little crash course in volcanoes. Yeah, for your 4 marker, generally speaking.
Yeah. It's just the terminology you got to get right in these questions.
That's it. Yeah, splitting the two. Well done. That was good as usual. Where are we next then, Ava?
You've got your interesting facts.
We're slacking on these interesting facts.
Do you think? I think this one's all right.
Yeah, but I don't think I'm not discussing the quality of our facts. I'm discussing the timing of when we get our facts.
Yeah, we are leaving it a little bit to the last minute, aren't we? So what is this interesting fact?
Right, this interesting fact. I really hope we've not already said this. I haven't checked the back catalogue.
I don't. No. I don't think we have. But we'll say it anyway. Hopefully, someone will pull us up.
Yeah, exactly. So, the interesting fact today, sir, is that Africa is the only continent to be in all 4 hemispheres.
Interesting. The only continent to be in all 4 hemispheres.
So it's in the northern hemisphere, the southern hemisphere, the eastern hemisphere, and the Western Hemisphere.
If you split there, oh,
Yes.
wonderful.
So we've got our prime meridian running through here.
Yeah.
We've got our equator running through there. So no, we're not meant to tell them, are we?
Why? Oh no, that was what we did last time.
That's what we meant. That's what we meant.
No, that was the last one about 4 hemispheres. Wasn't that about? Is it Alaska? What was the place that was in all 4 hemispheres?
Oh no, it was. How was it in the eastern
and the west at the same time?
Yeah,
so that was it. There you go. No, that was it. Yeah. So we're good. We haven't done that one. So Africa is the only continent in all 4 hemispheres.
Yes.
I like that's a good, interesting fact.
Right.
What's next?
News.
Oh, the news. Thanks to
Mr. Max.
So
Sponsored by Mr. Max.
So we'll go to Iceland.
And Wild.
And Wild, yeah. So we'll go to Iceland.
Right, let's move us to Iceland.
Go and find it then.
But
Well,
Iceland.
you can't really see it. We're right up there.
Yeah, right. Iceland on a constructive plate boundary, created by a constructive plate boundary.
Yeah.
So it's created basically that Iceland is a massive volcano.
Yeah.
Essentially.
There's
right?
a lava river running underneath.
Yeah. So, a couple of days ago, last week.
Yeah, it's really started hotting up last week.
Yeah, we've got to transport ourselves to Iceland, and a place known for volcanoes, and a place that very much takes advantage of its volcanoes and its tectonic setting. Right, I think it's something like 90% or it's 100% renewable because they heat everything from the volcanoes.
I think I read somewhere that they don't have to like pay for like heating because they use geothermal.
Living their rent, literally living their rent free.
That reminds me, talking about like what we get out of volcanoes. Iceland, they use it to their advantage. It's amazing. But we very quickly, when a volcano erupts, the minerals in the rock and stuff make soil super fertile, don't they? So that's why in Sicily, the tomatoes that are growing on the side of those, on the side of those volcanoes are the best in the world.
I reckon Iceland would be at a much better advantage if it was further south because then they'll be able to grow a lot more of those things. But because it's so far north and so cold there, it struggles.
Like they use a lot of geothermal energy. So constructive plate boundary.
Yeah, we are transporting ourselves to the southwest of the country. Yeah, can't remember the name of the place.
It's hard to say.
But I know the name of the volcano.
Year 12 to help us here.
Right, I know the name of the volcano. It begins with a V, I'm pretty sure, doesn't it? The name of the volcano is Fagradalsfjall.
Right, and do you know the name of the town?
It begins with a V, I know it does.
And there's a town, also the town that's been evacuated begins with a G, doesn't it?
It's a G or a V.
Is it?
Yeah.
But the town,
okay,
so
never mind. Right, so they have, when this links to what we just taught the year 10s about mitigation. Right. So the mitigation is that they're using technology to figure out when all these volcanoes are going to erupt, right? Yeah. And all of a sudden they started noticing earthquakes. Now these earthquakes were really low in magnitude, but because they're so tectonically active, they've got to be aware of these things, right? Yeah. So in this one area, you look like you nodded. Did you have the name of the place?
Oh yeah.
Go on, do you know how to say it? Go on, let's have a look.
Grindavik.
Grindavik. So in Grindavik, what they started noticing is loads of these little earthquakes, right? So we're talking 2 or 3 magnitude, right? Nothing. They sleep through that, right? They probably rock their babies to sleep with earthquakes like that. But they started noticing loads of them, and when I say loads, I'm talking like 600 in 24 hours.
Oh, I think it went to like 1,400 in 48 hours. Yeah, mental.
So they started noticing this. So they're like, right, when earthquakes happen near a volcano, that normally means that something's about to happen. And I sent a video in the group chat about the sound of this magma going underground. It's terrifying. But they reckon right now they've evacuated this town. They're allowing people to go back to collect valuable items because they think this thing's about to go. They think magma at the moment is about 500 metres below the surface and slowly rising upwards. But part of this volcano is underwater. Wow. Now, we say that shield volcanoes don't normally create ash clouds. But when it's underwater and also under ice, that's when you get the ash cloud. Yeah. So the volcano that went off in Iceland like 2011, that happened under an ice sheet. Yeah. So the mixture of all the lava and all the water created a big ash cloud which disrupted the northern hemisphere for months.
And I've got an interesting stat about that.
What's that?
So when that erupted, remember it shut down there in I think it was Northern Europe, it said. It shut down all the planes. My brother's wife got stuck in New York for a few weeks. I was telling the kids, they're like, oh, that's great. I was like, do you know how expensive New York is to be stranded there for a while? And that was the most flights, it's like airspace closed down for the longest period of time since World War II.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's how many flights it stopped. So yeah, I thought that was quite good.
Yeah, so with this, just keep an eye on it. It's good for the year 12s who then hazards taken care of, year 13.
The BBC, Miss Jones actually sent me this video yesterday. the BBC, there's an air shot of, you can quite literally see the crack through, like, it's insane, the cracks in the
that
land.
lava is just hopefully, for a geographical point of view, it's just going to bubble up through that, maybe create a fissure volcano. But if it is explosive, we obviously our thoughts are with the people in Iceland, but they're so ready, like
they know what they're doing, they're prepared.
They were like, this volcano might not go off for 2 weeks, but I guarantee those families will not be allowed back in that town. No chance.
And I read that town, what is it?
Grindavik,
sorry. They that's where the Blue Lagoons are.
Yeah,
so
they're shut.
700,000 visitors a year, so their tourist industry is going to be impacted by it. So fingers crossed, everything will be all right eventually. The next bit of news we've got is
very much courtesy of Mr. Max. This one
definitely is so obviously we had Diwali last weekend. Lovely big firework display.
Diwali to everyone.
It was. Talk about firework displays. Well, no messing around. But the people of Delhi the next day woke up to what can only be described as mega smog.
Yeah.
The fireworks, ultra smog, mixed with the low
6 full water fountain smog,
mixed with the low air quality. And the people of Delhi, you're going to have to look at these photos because I can't describe it to you like this, but they woke up and they could not see. Like, you literally cannot see in front of you.
Yeah.
It is.
There's reasons for that.
Go on.
Right, so you obviously got the fireworks, you've got the pollution there anyway. But what happens around this time of the year, the farmers in the very far north of the country burn the crops that they don't use, because otherwise it makes it hard to refertilise the land. So they refertilise all the like rice paddies and stuff like that by burning all the crops. But to the very north of India, you've got the Himalayas. Now the natural wind blows, so the natural wind sort of originally blows towards the Himalayas, so it pushes all that smog towards the Himalayas, but there's a massive wall there. So then all of it just drifts backwards, and then hits Delhi. So then you've got the mixture of smoke, you've got the mixture of fog, and now you've also got the mixture of fireworks, and it's just created a place where the pollution is awful. You can't see it, you wouldn't be able to see it in front of you.
You can't, you wouldn't be able to drive, it's absolutely terrifying.
And also, linking it to current events, could impact the Cricket World Cup, and the finals most likely going to be in places like either Mumbai or New Delhi. So that could be interesting to see if the Diwali celebrations, and especially now India have made the Cricket World Cup final, I can't imagine them, I reckon they're going to sell out of fireworks. It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Right, well, that was good. Lot to cover there, I feel like.
There's a lot to cover, but sir, no, it's not a weather forecast, but I think we've got the clear blues again, haven't we?
We have got clear blues. Is it looking like this all weekend?
Do you know what, I've not checked.
Quickly check.
I'll have a little look.
Producer.
But in the meantime, right?
Yeah.
I was looking at India.
Yeah.
Right. You know the air quality index?
Yeah.
The maximum of it is 500.
That's like the worst it could be, is it?
Yeah. India's gone past that.
Jesus. This is why I've got a producer.
That is why. So India has surpassed the maximum low air quality.
Yeah. 10 times the range considered good.
Wow.
Oh my God.
That's terrifying.
That is terrifying. That's crazy.
Right, at the moment, let's just stick, at the moment, clear blues. They're
beautiful out there.
I can see myself in the sky.
Yeah, it's lovely out there. What are we looking for the rest of the weekend?
See, I was hoping. So tomorrow is like 15 degrees, which is quite. That's okay, but there's a 90% chance of rain. And then it just gets worse from there, pretty much.
Good job, I'm standing marking anyway. So, but it's lovely out there today. So I think that wraps us up. What time are we on?
27 minutes.
So we're just slightly over. So well done, Stacey. As usual, thank you very much, Ava, for your contributions. That is changing the dynamic of this podcast. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. Stay safe. Thank you very much. That lovely weather out there today. It's great, isn't it?
Clear blues. I like that clear blues. I think that's quite funny.
It's clear blues.